Friday morning, a couple hours away from the fight in Indio, California. Let's cook. As you guys are checking in, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting me on this channel. The channel's growing. Thank you for all the new Johnny Says Boxing Insiders. We launched our VIP group 2 weeks ago and it's growing. If you have the blue star next to your name, I say thank you. Make sure you join the Discord group, Blue Star Insiders, so that Discord group is growing as well. We started the Discord group about 5 days ago, and the goal is everybody who joins the Johnny Says Boxing Insider group, one of the biggest benefits, it's a couple bucks a month, is getting access to that Discord, and that's growing. I uploaded the latest upload on our Stats Don't Lie fight prediction playlist is the main event in the UK between Reece Bellotti and Ryan Gardner. I give you my breakdown prediction on that. There's some good value on that fight. It's going to be another close one. There's a lot of these kind of razor close fights happening. One of them is today with Gucci Flores versus Jorge Chavez. I'm taking Gucci, but once again, it's one of these matchups. Whenever you get matchups, guys, at the domestic level in any country, or we could call them prospects at the prospect level, as a guy who's analyzing the fights or bettors who are wanting to make money on the fights, you got to always enter with a side of caution because the jury's still out on each fighter, whether they're prospects or not. I do want to say and acknowledge, I just got word that Hulk Hogan passed away at 71 today. And, you know, he was an enigmatic figure. He was loved, beloved. Some people didn't like him. Whenever you're as polarizing as Hulk Hogan, you're going to have people on both sides of the fence. When I think of Hulk, I think of Rocky 3. I think of Thunder Lips. I'm a true blue boxing head, boys. I did watch WWF when I was a kid, but my father wouldn't let me. I remember as a kid, I had to watch WWF behind my dad's back because my dad was a very strict Czechoslovakian immigrant who migrated to the United States to flee communism in the late 40s. And so my dad was all about me reading books on history, me reading philosophy. This is when I'm like 10 years old, reading science. He had me writing. I mean, it's one of the reasons. He was very strict. But looking back as a man now, I'm fortunate that my dad was that way. When the WWF would be on Saturday mornings when I was a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, I used to have to hide it. What are you watching this for? It's fake. Stop watching this. He hated it. But in that era, my favorite wrestlers were Ultimate Warrior, The Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, Jake the Snake Roberts, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Who else from Tito Santana. Who was one of my... But I think Hulk Hogan was always just too fake. I never liked cheering for like the ultra famous people. So... What's up, boys? Everyone checking it. Yeah, it was sad. You never think a figure like Hulk Hogan. You think guys like that live forever. 71 had a heart attack. I mean, it's another example of the stresses that exogenous... You could call it for what you will. I mean, he was on it. Those boys, his generation, they were on everything. They were on all the supplements. Sharp money is on Jorge Chavez. You're right. Sharp money is on Jorge Chavez. My money's not, though. I think we could overthink about it as much as we want, but I just think Manny Flores is a level above. Everyone on 80s, they weren't only on the snow, Dwayne. They were on the Mexican supplements too. They were on the good. I mean, some of the best promos, what I do is watch the promos. Go to Ultimate Warrior. Have you guys ever seen that crazy ass Ultimate Warrior promo when he's like glad wrapping I forget who it was. He either had Mr. Perfect. There was a time when Ultimate Warrior was on the same side. It might have been him, Mr. Perfect. I forget. And they're like doing their promo, and Ultimate Warrior isn't saying anything. And he has glad wrap, and he's just walking around them, just kind of like encasing them in the exhaust. It's like, what? And he's all fucking juiced out the mind, sweating, insane. But anyway, yeah, rest in peace to Hulk. Stick to boxing. Yeah, I think I like what I really like about Manuel Flores. There's a I mean, is he a polished product? No. Can he be a world champion one day? I don't know. I'm not even saying that. It's a Golden Boy main event. It's in his hometown. He's in the Coachella Valley. You know, he always looks for the knockouts. I think he's cleaner. I think he does classier work in the firefight as well than Jorge Chavez. So I'm not going to overthink it too much. Like I put in our Discord group, guys. Goat, I'm comfortable enough to I put Flores in one of my parlays, and I'm doing a knockdown. I like Flores at 295, I think, to win by stoppage. But I'm not going too heavy. I put this in our Discord earlier. I put up the prop bet, and somebody would this is normal for us. Whenever we're approaching fight night, fight day, it's 6:30 a.m. I think they'll be fighting in 6 hours. It's normal for us to second guess our picks. I'm going into this Gucci Flores versus Jorge Chavez fight from a betting perspective, not breaking my bank, but putting a little bit on it to where if it hits, it creates momentum going into the weekend. And if it doesn't hit, it doesn't burn, it doesn't hurt me. So I'm not, but also I don't do that. I'm not a huge gambler. So I do it for the competitive side, the entertainment side. I'm just a huge boxing fan. From a boxing fan's perspective, even if I didn't put $1 on this fight, I think Manuel Flores wins this fight. I think the southpaw, everything that Jorge Chavez says that he does better than Manny Flores, I don't think any of that will negate the pressure and the pop that Flores will have. And I think that I can see Flores stopping him. So without overlooking it too much, that's that. We got a lot of fights this weekend. I know some of the boys are checking in, asking about other fights. I seen you guys ask about, the Donovan fight. You guys are asking about Duarte and Sims. That's going to be a good crack. O'Shea Jones, somebody just mentioned O'Shea. So I'm not betting on O'Shea Jones. I'm not saying she's going to lose. I'm not taking that fight. One of the best advice I could give anyone out there, if you need advice about betting, is you don't have to bet on every fight, guys. You don't have to get enticed by these odds. You don't have to let the worst thing you ever want to do is hit a 6-leg parlay, and then out of greed you throw a 7th on there and it busts. It does it all the time. So I would suggest this week, if you guys haven't hit in a while, or if you guys are going sort of an up and down, you'll win one, you'll lose one, you'll win one, lose one, I would focus this weekend on getting a victory, even if that means only doing like 3 bets versus 5 bets, or a 3-leg parlay instead of a 5-leg parlay. My goal for everybody here is to find a victory. See if you could get a victory, even if that means like Xander by money line, Flores by money line. You get that victory today. This is what I told the group. If we hit on Manny tonight, I think we're in clear. If we hit on Manny today with my bets going into the weekend, I think we're in clear. Because even though I picked, like for instance, we'll talk about the main event that I just uploaded yesterday in the UK. Even though I broke down Bellotti versus Gardner, and I'm picking Gardner to win, I'm not betting on that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys who I'm taking to win, but on my prediction videos, so if you guys are new to the channel and you've only seen these live streams, go to my playlist section, Fight Predictions. You'll see the videos with the thumbnail Stats Don't Lie. I do a prediction, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm betting on that fight. I'm picking Ryan Garner to win, but I'm not betting on that. I'm not putting money on that parlay. I'm not, as of now, I'm not taking, I mean, that could change. Let's say Manny, I have Manny right now. I put $100 on Gucci Man to win by stoppage. $100 gets me my money back plus around 300, okay? And I also have Manny on a parlay with win a little bit heavier. I'll tell you, my heaviest lock is a 5-leg money line parlay, and I put a lot on that. But I put that bet in earlier in the week, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. It's in the Discord. If you guys want access to the Discord, you want access to all of our locks, Also, all the pro gamblers, we got on my channel, we got professional boxing gamblers who are members, who are subscribers. You'll have access to them in the Discord as well. That's what I keep telling you guys. I see Johnny Says Insider members with the blue star who haven't joined the Discord yet. So one of the biggest benefits of joining the Insider group is getting access to the professional gamblers in our Discord, and it's an ongoing chat. In the Discord, you don't need me to mediate it. You don't need me to be online to continue the chat. So we all live everywhere throughout the world. For instance, I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. I checked the Discord. There's 100 different messages because that, you guys are able to pick each other's mind. Now, where I was getting at with Flores, so I bet $100 on Manny. I have Manny on a parlay. I will bet 100 on him at 295 to get a stoppage. Let's say he stops Jorge Chavez. Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he loses. I'm out $100. It's not the end of the world. If he loses, I'm more pissed that I told you guys to bet on him, right? It's not going to hurt me because I lost. I'd be more upset if he loses and you guys listen to me. Moving forward on the other side, if Flores wins by stoppage, I get 295 on my 100. So then I would take the 395 in total, so $400, and the goal is to parlay that into the weekend with, maybe 3 or 4 fights, find like a 2-to-1, turn that 400 into 800, and then turn that 800 into 1,600, and then turn that 1,600 into 7,000, and then turn that 7,000 into 15,000. So that's kind of literally how I roll. So whenever you hear me do bets that are like $1,000 bet or even a $5,000 bet, more than likely I've built that $5,000 bet from other winnings. Like I've never once deducted $5,000 out of my bank account. That's not how I bet. I'm not betting to get rich. I'm betting for entertainment and for the love of the game. So I've won a lot of money and I've bet a lot of money on fights before, but it's not like I've taken that out of my bank account. I'm pretty, my strengths as a gambler is my patience and building. So I guess if you wrap all that into one, some of my biggest victories were bets that I didn't make. So keep that in mind. If you don't like the Reese Bellotti Ryan Gardner fight, don't bet it. If you don't like any of the fights, don't bet it. But I like Xander Zayas. I do. I like Xander a lot. I was initially kind of wrestling with that, thinking that Chino is going to be tough, but I think Xander's value on the money line is nice. You put Xander on the money line. He's currently $1.27, and I like Polanco to stop Randall as well, but I'm not going to put those two on the same. All right, guys, let's do a little bit of Jan Carlos Santana at $1.19, which I love. I think he's gonna. Oh yeah, TJ, what's up, buddy? Yeah, TJ, just out of constant requests from the chat, I started a Discord less than a week ago, and it's growing. So the link is pinned, guys. If you want access to that, the link is pinned in the live stream. TJ, do you see Xander stopping Chino? So I like Giancarlo Santana. If you take Santana on the money line, we're just doing a little sneaky one real quick. I mean, Santana can punch too. I might do Chavez it is. There you go. Take Chavez. I'm going the other way. I just think, yeah. So if you take the Santana versus Alameda fight to not go the distance, will the fight go the distance? No. At 2-to-1? Are you kidding me? Mar the Prince. TJ, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you supporting. So TJ, now what you'll do is, TJ, go to my channel and you'll see the Discord link. Goat hit the bag on Discord and upload yours as well. I'm not sure on that fight. Chavez, Seymour fight in front of what I saw. Yeah, Rambler. There's not a lot that separates right now in their career. 26 and 25. We're talking about the main event boys in Coachella between Flores and Chavez. There's not a lot that separates them. So if you don't think there's a lot that I think there's a gap that separates them from a skill set in the ring. So that's just my opinion. If you don't think there's a lot separating from the skill set, you then have to do your own deductive reasoning on where you're going to put your money at. Like my man who just picked Chavez, he's picking Chavez based on the odds, which is that's part of the reasoning. You also have to think about their camps. Some bettors, I mean the smartest bettors that I know are doing their due diligence, not just on the odds, not just on the film study. You could talk to these guys. They'll know about the camps they come from. They'll know about the coaches. They'll know about the sparring partners. They'll know about if a guy had a bad camp, if he did his road work. So over time, when you're trying to pick your, have a deductive reasoning approach to your bet, it's important to kind of, widen your knowledge on these sort of things. So with that being said, I like Gucci Flores being coached by Joel Diaz, based on Joel Diaz's pedigree as a coach, the discipline, the expectations. So like I'm saying, even if you have Jorge Chavez and Manny even on a skill level, I still then give the advantage to Gucci based on his camp. Nothing against Jorge Chavez's camp. I just don't know if they're at the world level. Great point. And then you have to think about the promotion. You have to think about the A side. You have to think about the judges. You have to think about where the fight's at. These are all things you must think about. Now that's a good question, PJ. Do I think Flores is getting the stoppage? I'm betting on it, but it's gambling for a reason. If I knew he was if he couldn't stop Sosa, he's probably going to deep rounds with Chino. Yeah, okay, TJ. So TJ, one of my favorite prop bets this weekend is that fight going the distance. So I like Xander on a separate parlay on the money line, but I always do a little cheeky 2 to 3 leg method of victory parlay. And one of those bets is Xander versus Chino to go the distance at good value. And then Carlos Santana Guerrero's fight to not go the distance at double the money. Once again, every weekend, what I like to do, and the chat knows this, I like to seek out those sort of diamond in the rough method of victory bets. We found one with Berlanga and Shiraz, the fight not to go the distance, Berlanga and Shiraz. We got $1.85. So 10 grand got you 8,500. So I lost Berlanga on the money line, but I went really heavy on the fight not to go the distance. It got stopped, $1.85. This weekend, Carlos Santana Guerrero, watch his film tape if you're unfamiliar with him, fighting Aaron Alameda. I don't think Alameda is on that level. I like Carlos Guerrero Santana, his fight to not go the distance at 2-1 money. And then I like Zayas versus Chino to go the distance. So this also, as a bettor, gives you another optic of how to watch boxing. Sometimes I want to watch a fight and I don't want to pick a winner. Sometimes I watch a fight and I'm leaning on, if I'm betting on it, I'm leaning on the fight to get stopped based on statistics, the stylistic matchup, how long the fight is an 8, a 10, or 12 rounder, where the guy's trajectory is, who's promoting the guy, what's at stake, is it a tight, all that sort of stuff. So you think Randall's going the distance, then take the opposite. It's 2-1 money each side. So it's plus 200 each side. I disagree with you on that. And then Zayas versus Chino. Will the fight go the distance? Yes at $1.32, but if you take Zayas by decision, you juice that up to 169. So boys, if you think I've never seen Chino get dropped. I'm a fan of Chino Garcia. I've never seen Chino get dropped. I've never seen him get stopped. He has 4 losses. I feel that Chino should be 36-1. So this is a 2-leg. If you take Santana, the fight to not go the distance at 2-1 and Xander by decision at $1.69. Those odds on my book, because they force us in Australia to do three-way betting. So my money line odds will always be a bit juicier than the American apps because a draw is factored into those odds and a draw destroys your bet. That being said, I got lucky last week by not betting on Manny or Barrios. I didn't even feature that fight. So I'm getting $3.56 on this two-leg parlay. 1,000 gets you your money back plus 2,500. And I just need Xander to win by decision and the Santana fight to end by stoppage. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on that, but we'll see what happens. Jazz, what did I miss, Jazz? Complete stranger. I mean, if you guys are new, I know Muscle's going heavy on under knockdowns. I'm not getting a knockdown prop on that yet, but GOAT, I don't mind that. Damn, you bet on the draw, Chiefs to you, and that's insane that you bet on the draw. Good boy, good work. Yeah, I didn't feature it. I have my no. The longer you guys are on my channel, you'll know about my no bet list. I have a no bet list, and any like Manny Pacquiao, pretty much any Mario Barrios fight. But when I saw he got paired up against Manny Pacquiao, I didn't even feature the fight. I don't like seeing old legends come back and fight. I didn't like the politics behind it, so I didn't bet on that fight. And I know a lot of the boys in Australia bet on that fight. Either way, in Australia, if you would have taken Manny or Mario, you would have lost because it was a draw. So I lucked out. Actually, it wasn't luck because I chose not to. There's no way I was betting on Manny Pacquiao or Barrios. I don't like the way Mario Barrios boxes. I don't think it's not a hot take saying that he's not the greatest boxer. I don't like how he doesn't use his height. I don't like when I watch Mario Barrios, he doesn't fight with his height. And so I've never liked that about him. So I really don't bet on him. Same with the Brandon Figueroa. Based on the performance against Fulton and Omar Figueroa against Abel, I never bet on the Figueroas. My chat already knows about that. I don't bet on Jake Paul for obvious reasons. I don't bet on domestic heavyweights. And if your name isn't Andy Cruz, I don't bet on gold medalists anymore. Because I got burned. I got cooked. I got cooked with 2 gold medalists with Badr Gaziev. I got cooked on Badr Gaziev, and I got cooked on when Badr Gaziev lost to Jazza, and then when Francisco Rodriguez Jr. beat Galoyafai. So that just added to my list of, yeah. Anyway, we all should have our lists. Can't see how Fig won 7 rounds. Yeah, I stayed away. I know people won money or lost money on that. So my point is, as a bettor, if you're trying to make money on this sport, if you're trying to take it seriously, if you're doing your research, it's also important to have boundaries. You can't just get big-eyed and see every single... This is what the sports book wants from us. They don't... I lived in Vegas from 2011 to 2013. And when I first moved to Vegas, one of my buddies who was a local there for years, I remember he was talking about... Because at the time I was a table gambler. And, my game was blackjack. And he was like, look around, mate. He was like, look at these casinos. Look at all the bright lights. He was like, Vegas isn't Vegas because people win. And it sounds rudimentary. It sounds very simple. Obviously, logically, you would know that. But you don't always think that. Same with boxing. Same with any online betting is the fact that you don't have to gamble on everything. Some of the best victories, like I'm passing on a lot of these fights this weekend. I'm not betting on the girls. I mean, Clarissa Shields at $1.03. Why would I even bet that? $1.03? And I'm not really... 6-1 Uber. I bet the house if I was... 6-1, 126 Iber. Who's he fighting? See, I don't even know that. But do you think Yumbi will go over 4.5? Joette got robbed. Joette's always in these kind of decisions, isn't he? Yumbi's fighting on the UK card, right? He's $1.06, guys. So this is another fight. They're talking about Alois Yumbi. On the money line, he's $1.06. What do you want from that bet, though? Are you just looking for action? Yeah, but Clarissa has as many knockouts as Sky Nicholson, right? I think Sky might have 2 knockouts. Clarissa has, what, 2? or 2 or 3. Whenever it's weird because Clarissa gets a lot of knockdowns, and I'm not. I mean, people will. I don't know. I'm not. I don't like betting on Clarissa Shields. This is controversial. I'm not even sold on her. Actually, people think like I don't think she's the best female boxer. I think if we're talking who's the best female boxer, I like Gabby Fundora more than I like Clarissa Shields. I don't. Clarissa has so many holes in her game. She's very. I don't like her like untechnical approach. She gets knockdowns and she's strong, but to just say you're the GOAT, I don't know, man. I've seen better. But I'm a technical guy. I like technique. I like strategy. One of my buddies from the MMA side of things, he fights at the regional level. He's out of Long Beach, California. His girlfriend fought Clarissa Shields and beat her. Yeah. So I've seen Clarissa Shields lose before in the octagon. Yeah, I mean, look, she's undisputed. She calls herself the GOAT. But when I watch her box, do you guys like technique? I'm a coach too, guys. You have to remember that. I'm a coach. I like technique. I like movement. I like setups. I like feints. Clarissa just enters the pocket and throws bombs. She could put, I mean, that's just my take. I rewatched Floyd. We all like what we like, right? We all have an eye for certain things. I don't like bullies too. So, I mean, growing up as a kid, my dad put me in a boxing gym when I was 7 because I was getting bullied. So, as an adult, even with, yeah, it's just what we all like. We all like something differently. I think watching a Gabby Fundora fight, how she goes about her business. No, you're not hating. She doesn't have good technique. Her technique is super base level. You think she's the best of all time? That's insane. All time? I mean, name what 3 performances off the top of your head? I mean, I don't know. That's just what I'm saying. She's a good marketer. She's a really good marketer. I mean, like I said, my boy's girl beat her in MMA, and she had 1 pro fight. Yeah. She is it Layla Ali? I don't know. Base level limit. It's just look. It's just an important. I don't think it's a crazy. I don't think we're hating if we say that. I don't know. What about the main card for Zayas Garcia? I mean, you could take what you will about Olympians. Being an Olympian is a great honor. I'm not taking anything away from it. She's the undisputed. She's a beast. I'm just saying she's not my favorite, and I don't think she's the most technical. And she's not. I don't think she's the best ever either. Yeah, but it's a numbers game as well. She only could win who they put in front of her. It's nothing to say against her. I'm talking about from my perspective, what I like to watch. I don't like to watch her box. It doesn't look like she's not boxing. I mean, that's just my opinion. I didn't like I didn't like watching Wilder either, though. So this is another thing. When Wilder would box, when he would have fights, I would tune in. But it's not like I'm studying Deontay Wilder. It's not like I'm tuning in to watch a Deontay Wilder fight because I enjoy watching him box. Watching him box was one of the most frustrating things of all time. I hated watching Deontay box from a non-entertainment side. Like, he was more entertaining than anything. He always had that one-punch knockout opportunity. His backhand, obviously, when he fought the Polish guy, the lead up to I forget what was the Polish guy's name. He was talking all that trash, and Deontay fought life and death with him and then stopped him, I think, in the 9th. I mean, that stuff's entertaining. So, Joey, the locks are in our Discord group. Would PJ say, do you think Young Boy will go over 4.5 rounds? I'm not betting on that fight, mate. Yeah. So, Mr. Reed, and I'm not hating on Deontay for that. I'm coming at it. I think you guys get my point. I like technical side of things. Oh, Andre Ward's a beast. When people ask me about SOG or they ask me about Johnny, name a fight that you wish would have happened that never happened. I always think Kelly Pavlik versus Andre Ward or Kelly Pavlik versus Paul Williams. That's just because I have a personal connection with Kells. Tim Tszyu needs to take some time off. Von Don, the link to the Discord group is pinned in this live chat. So go to the top of the page. Click that link. It's only a couple bucks a month. It's cheaper if you're actually in America because the conversion are Australian dollars so a week. It's only a couple bucks a month, and you get access. No, I'm just saying what I like to watch. Clarissa's winning this fight, 100%. And also, when you look at, if you guys wanted, who's the best pound for pound Australia fighter right now? Jai Apataya is an animal, boys. People I don't know why he's not. Hopefully, he's an international household name. I don't know if he is, but Jai is a guy. I didn't even have to hesitate with that. Jai Apataya, no hesitation. But there's a lot of good Australian boxing. Best pound for pound, Jai. I mean, in a couple more fights, I think Jai should be on the pound for pound list. I feel like Flores knocks out Chavez. Same, me too. Who's the best female fighter? Gabby Fundora, in my opinion. What are you saying? Don't splurge all your posh partners trust fund. What does that even mean, Rambler? Rambler, I've noticed your comments on the channel. You're getting a bit more unhinged lately. You're turning into a bit of a conspiracy theory. So just, I don't know your intentions, Rambler. So you might have to get I might give you the send location comment and we might have to talk it out in person so I could see in your eyes what your intentions are. Chris is just missing that Serrano. Yeah. Yeah, but Goat, the thing that goes against Clarissa is there's not a lot of girls her size, right? So go to BoxRec and look, there's just not a lot of girls her size. Yeah, Clarissa's a lock. Iman, Clarissa's a lock. No, I didn't. I'd like to see that though, Landslide. Landslide, could you put that in the Discord? Thank you, Landslide. Boxing fan, that's right. Yeah, hand history, exactly. So there's just not a lot of numbers there. I think some of the weight classes have like less than 300 fighters in the weight class. Zerto just had surgery too. Best female fighter of all time? That's a good question. Of all time, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to just answer that recklessly. Of all time, I don't know. Johnny versus Merritt, let's do it. Send location, Goat. Send location, let's do it. Just gotta, hand wraps. I traditionally only wear 16s when I spar because, we got a safety first. Bring a mouthpiece. We'll do it at my gym. We'll live stream it. It's all good fun, Rambler. Von Don, appreciate you. Lauren Price. No, Lauren Price could crack. Who has more? This is a great question, Arrow. These are the questions we like to chat about. Goat, are you seeing this? Tito Mercado or Emiliano Vargas? I still have to see more. I want to see Tito fight. I know, right? I want to see Tito fight. We got Emiliano this weekend. Yeah, PJ, it's getting wild. So PJ, let me give you some love because I've been seeing PJ on my chat for a long time. PJ's really interested in the Alois Yumbi fight. PJ, I'm not getting an option to take the method of victory on that. They're not even, actually, I lied. They did. They just opened it up. Will the fight go the distance? Look, Yumbi's going to win that fight. It's $1.04. Will the fight go the distance? I think Yumbi wins by stoppage. I don't want to put money on that fight, though. Yeah, Mercado is solid, and Tito ticks all the boxes from a marketing perspective. I just have to see more of him. Pack, Usyk, Whitaker, Hagler, Calzaghe. Ooh, not a bad list. Are we missing someone there though? Pack, Usyk, Hagler. Yeah, Hagler, definitely. Purnell, yeah, Purnell's up there. No particular order. Yeah, that's a good list, man. And those are a lot of that's pretty much you cover all the divisions. There's a couple we're missing though of southpaws. There's some really good southpaws. Yeah, yeah. Mercado, he ticks all the boxes for me, and sometimes Mercado seems like mad. I like how Mercado's always mad. You know, it's like it's kind of like when you think about when Hagler. A lot of people forget about Marvin Hagler. He couldn't get big fights forever. He fought a long time trying to get big fights and trying to get these matchups. For a big part of his career, nobody would fight him. And so over time, even the media would start like, this is before obviously social media, but Hagler was known as a mean guy. He was just mean and angry. And so I like that. I'm not comparing Mercado to Hagler by no means. But I like the fact when I see a younger fighter who's petitioning or posturing for a big fight and how they're mean and angry. I see some of that in Mercado, and that's actually why I like him. I like a guy who has a chip on their shoulder, who's angry. I'm not quite convinced though if he means what he says. I have to see more, because there's some killers. That, it's a pretty stacked division, and he calls out all the big names. But how much of that is just trying to get something to stick on a wall? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Nostradamus. He would make a million predictions and get 2 right, and people looked at him as like a savant sort of thing. So like right now, Mercado, because he hasn't gotten that big fight, he's just calling everybody out. Carl Fell, yeah. So Von Don, I got asked about this fight by Gary from 3D Boxing. And guys, if you're not following Gary from 3D Boxing, follow him. He's a buddy of mine. He does great work. He's a wizard. Don't judge the boxing content creators by subscribers, by the way. I think Gary should have 100,000 subs. So in my opinion, he does some of the best work. He called me yesterday. He was asking me about Carl Fell. And I told him, I was like, mate, I am not touching. There's no way I don't want to touch that fight. Like that's a British level, domestic level sort of things. Thanks, Sean. We'll go past 4.5. Yeah. Durable. Never got the first one. There you go, PJ. And thanks for being patient too. I was gonna get to you. My point is, he was asking me about the Carl Fell fight. He did a breakdown. I watched it. Yeah, Phil has a brother. It's just that if you are confident on him, you don't always have to bet on him. You know what I mean? Like, I've been burned. I'm a jaded bettor, dude. Like, and I'm petty as hell. Goat, I'm not playing your game, Goat. So, how do I put this? No shade against Carl Fell. No shade against domestic level fighters. At every boxer at one time was a domestic club guy until they weren't. My point is, I'm vowing to not, I don't ever want to lose another domestic bet based off of like me getting sort of conned by the bookies to bet big-eyed because of odds. So, yeah. Sims Duarte. More the Prince, Ohio in the house. You know that's coming. You know the Duarte prediction. David Eister in the house. Haven't seen David all week. That fight is dangerous to bet on. I don't know. Who's Trav? Guys, I got to be honest with you. The only content creators on YouTube I watch is Gary at 3D and then a couple Brits with 40 subscribers. I'm dead serious. I don't follow anybody. I don't follow anyone. Ortiz and Claggett is going to be a firefight. I like watching Steve Claggett, and Jermaine Ortiz, the technician, is one of my favorite boxers. Prograis versus Jojo. Did you guys see that fight's announced? David is reminding us. What do you guys make of Jojo versus Prograis? He should win that. What do you guys make of the fight, though? I think he did. Well, Ortiz is a really, really good boxer, Jazz. And Claggett could box. I thought Claggett won rounds against Teo. You know what I mean? Like, watch that fight, the one that went down in South Florida, or in Florida. Maybe it was in Orlando. We streamed it. It was Claggett versus Teo. A lot of people were scratching their heads that they made this fight. And Teo, I don't want to say struggle with Claggett, but Claggett, dude, he's in your face the entire time. Abu Baker, straight with Connor. Yeah, see, I'm not touching that Phil versus Abu Bakr fight. Yeah, Diaz is. What's good? It's Woog. What a cool name. I don't know who that is. Golden has some good fun fights at 135. They do. Are you guys getting any action on the card tonight other than the main event? Is your book offering bets on anyone other than Gucci versus Chavez? Because I'm not getting anything on there. Pro grades. I mean, I'm gonna break the fight down versus Joe. I'm probably not gonna bet on Regis. You know what I mean? It's just one of those fighters that we don't have to bet on every fight. David, people. Okay, so PJ and David, you guys could converse about that, because PJ and David are both very interested in the Alois fight versus Zorro. That's going on the undercard of Bellotti versus Gardner. No one's even mentioned Bellotti versus Gardner, so people are actually more interested in some of the undercard fights than the main event, which is interesting. Like I said, I broke down Bellotti versus Gardner. I'm picking Gardner to win, but I'm not betting. I'm not probably going to bet on that fight. Yeah, perfect. Landslide covers jab. Yeah, I mean, I do my best on just covering all the fights. So, in turn, I love watching Japanese boxing. Every time there's a card in Japan, I'm definitely covering the fights. But yeah, I don't know either one of those guys. Josh Taylor retired. He did. Hulk Hogan died today, boys. I don't know if all you wrestling fans are out there, but Hulkamania, the Hulkster, 71, heart attack. When you think about how he lived his life, making it to 71 is like super old for an old 80s wrestler. Because, there was a whole thing about, Jamie from Punch Perfect. I know Jamie from Instagram. Jamie and I shoot the shit all the time on Insta from Punch Perfect. I was actually shocked. Jamie stopping Punch Perfect reminds me. So I helped, during the pandemic, I did solely MMA. Now, the longer you guys know me, know that, both of them are in my wheelhouse in terms of I've watched every MMA fight since I was 93. We could talk MMA for hours. Same as boxing. I've been in a boxing gym since I was 7. But during the pandemic, I worked with this MMA journalist from Washington, D.C., doing an Instagram gambling show. It was called Easy Money with Johnny and Tyler. And in 2023, I was helping Tyler getting a YouTube going. And I got his YouTube, helped him get to 10,000 subs. And then a couple months passed, and he did the same thing Jamie did. He posts this post on Instagram about how he's done doing YouTube. It's like, bro, you got to 10K. So many people don't make it to 10,000. And it's a tough road, man, to be able to. Tyler, I think, was in his 30s. Jamie looks pretty young. Jamie might be in his 20s. See, I'm an old head. By the time, in terms of like the obvious stresses that some people go through, like I didn't grow up with social media. I barely had the internet as a kid. So, the idea of me comparing myself to somebody else, at 43, I don't care about stuff like that. And it's just not a social stress that ever was in part of my life. Part of that was probably growing up the way I did in a very hard town, Youngstown, Ohio. My upbringing in Youngstown, mate, just Google Youngstown, Ohio. I lived there. That was my roots. I moved out when I was 18. Very crime-riddled, very poverty. The average household income at the time in the 90s was under $25,000. We had 6 people living in a 2-bedroom house. So my point is, as I went to college, played baseball, evolved as an athlete, became a man. If you try to criticize me, I could care less. So I have a thick skin, and I use humor a lot. In this day and age, though, of social media, where people are comparing themselves to people and constantly, and especially my point is, if you're a content creator and you're doing great work, and you're like, why am I only getting so many views? Why am I only getting so many subs? Like, why is this guy getting all this? That could destroy and deteriorate somebody's mental health. and I think it happens a lot. It's unfortunate. I'm not saying that's the case with Punch Perfect, but I was kind of shocked that he stopped doing it because, you know, he was kind of one of my go-to guys too. He does good breakdowns. My buddy Tyler for his channel, same thing. He got to 10K and just had like a complete mental collapse because he kept comparing himself to guys in the MMA space who had like 100,000 subs that in his eyes weren't doing as good a work as he was. So anyway, my point is, you never know what someone else is going through. Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes. Comparison is the thief of joy. That, was that Ralph? I don't know if that was Emerson. Who was that? Either way, it's one of my favorites. I also like Isaac Newton's, if I've seen farther than you, it's from standing on the shoulders of giants. It's one of my favorite quotes. If we're going to go quotes, philosophy. The UFC picks. Right now, PJ, I have my upsets. You're probably not going to like them because I've been getting hated on them all week for my upsets. So my upsets this week are in the UFC. Very true. After a while, maybe it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. Landslide. It has to be a passion. Like, this is, if you guys ever meet me in real life, or if some of my friends are on this stream, which who know me, this is who I am in person. On here. If anything, when I'm doing my edited videos, when I rewatch them back, I'm like, I need to relax a bit more. Because like on the Stats Don't Lie videos, I have to be in the pocket. I have to be like in the pocket. I'm not reading cue cards. I'm not reading a screen. Those Stats Don't Lie videos, it's my studying and then staying in a script of like, all right, I got my intro. I got my fighter breakdown. I got my side by side. I got my money line, and then I got my outro. But anyway, there's always a backstory. Dude, I'm a storyteller. Read my books. So if it's not your passion, boys, it's going to fizzle out. So whatever you do in life, as a hustle, as a side project, as a side quest, if it's not a passion project. Oh yeah, so Heita is fighting. He's a big puncher. I think he gets stopped. Yeah, Bruce Carrington's fighting a big puncher from Africa. Big puncher. I'm not betting on that fight. Yeah, I'm not sold on Elijah either. I have Elijah on the money line against Daz. Okay, so PJ, my upsets of the week are RDR to beat Whitaker, and then McGee to beat Peter Yan at 9-1. I think the average fight fan doesn't know how good Marcus McGee is. I've watched Marcus McGee is 35, but the dude was destroying people on the regional scene in the southwestern part of the U.S. for years. He could grapple, he could scrap, he could strike. And Marcus McGee is, you know, it's going to be the biggest step up of his career. Peter Yan's a good boxer. I just think McGee. I like McGee as a live dog, and I also like RDR to beat Whitaker. Would it be okay if I put my Instagram in the chat? Yeah, go ahead. Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed, when you're doing all that stuff, Joey, hit the link in the comments, Joey, to get the Discord. Mr. Reed, you could put your Instagram link either in the chat, or you guys do know the blue stars you guys could post on my channel. You think he's going to box? I don't think so, mate. I think you're going to be surprised about Marcus McGee. Did he say that? I'll likely lose. We'll see what happens. I think he's playing with you. I'd be shocked if he said that and he meant it. Yeah, I'm not sold on Elijah either. I have Elijah Pierce on a parlay, but I'm not super stoked about him. Daz Marine is people over, you know, he could box. He's a good operator. He's been in there with some of the best in the world. Godness Reed. All right, add me on Insta then. My name is Johnny Stavko. Yeah, but McGee's a bit of a, he's a bit of a, I don't want to call him, he's a bit of a personality. Well, Carrington is fighting for the interim world title. I mean, he can only fight who they put in front of him. I want to see Bruce versus Rafa, but at 126, there's a lot of good matchups. We'll see how Nick Ball looks against Sam Goodman. He is. Yeah. Yeah. I think people are overlooking Das Marinas. I'm not saying he could beat Elijah, but I'm not. Is Elijah really world class? Elijah Pierce thinks he's world class. Is he world class? I don't know. Who you got? Bryce versus Nurmagomedov. Yeah, I know who Saeed is. I know all these fighters, mate. You got to that fight's in the in Dubai. I'm not betting on Bryce Mitchell. I'm not betting on that fight. Like I said, I'm only taking 2 fights in the UFC this weekend, and they're both my upsets of the week. My bets on Flores is I got Gucci by decision on one bet, and I got Gucci to win by stoppage on a separate parlay at 3-1. Everyone's picking Bryce to beat Nurmagomedov. Dude, Nurmagomedov is a good striker. You think that last name, and you think Khabib. But it's the same with Shara Bullet. Not all Dagestanis are grappling heavy. Some of the Dagestanis could strike. I saw the Carrington says you're Bruce. Is this guy bad? I'm staying away from the Carrington bet. Krylov versus Guzkov. I'm not betting on that fight. Maybe fight not to go the distance more. Yeah, Nikita Krylov. He's had a bit of a resurgence lately in this part of his career, but that's another one of They're picking Bryce to sub Nurmagomedov. I mean, have fun with that. It's not like Nurmagomedov's one-dimensional, and it's not like Bryce Mitchell has the highest fight IQ. You know what I mean? Bryce Mitchell's shown us time and time again to have these mental lapses in a fight, and he has. I don't know if the hype around Bryce, people, he came into the UFC, people loved his submission grappling pedigree, but we've seen him get subbed before. Wasn't it Ilya who just ran right through him like butter? I'm not going to say Jan is a bum, but I'm not going to say that he's going to beat McGee. People are overlooking Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee is a dog. I don't think Jan's ever fought an athlete like McGee. Jan's former world champion. He's fought the obviously better resume. He's done more in his career, but Marcus McGee is a dog, dude. Bam Ortiz, which fight? Bam Ortiz? What am I missing there? Bam Rodriguez, Virgil Ortiz. Chavez or Flores? I'm taking Gucci. I'm taking Manuel Flores to beat Jorge Chavez. I think Manuel Flores is a level above. It is a good fight between one guy's 26, one guy's 25, 2 Golden Boy guys. You got to take into consideration who the A side is. Gucci's the A side. It's in his hometown, Coachella Valley. I like Gucci's camp as well. He's coached by Joel Diaz. And I just think the southpaw could crack. I like the power, and I like the style that he fights with. Jorge Chavez is a sound guy too, though. He does everything really fundamentally sound. He keeps his chin down. They go about I talked about this in my breakdown. They go about their business 2 different ways, both in and outside of the ring. History Vault, we finally got you. We finally got you joining History Vault. I was like, when's he gonna jump into the Discord? All right, guys, if you want access to the Discord, it's a couple bucks a month, like I said. If you're in America, it's because the Australian currency is so bad. It's only a couple bucks a month. And the link is pinned in. So if you just joined, you'll get access to the Discord. Go to my channel right now if you just joined and go to the posts section. You'll see the membership posts. You'll see the Discord link there. All right, guys, we're approaching an hour here, so I'll give you a quick schedule recap. So I have a couple clients now. So I'm a strength and conditioning coach. If you're new to my channel, I'm a boxing and strength and conditioning coach. I run my own private one-on-one gym in my place in Australia. So I have sessions for the next 3 hours, and then my girlfriend's party is tomorrow. So I have to go down to the city. I have to get this, I have to check into the hotel. But I'm going to be back here. I'm coming all the way back to hopefully catch this Manny Flores fight. So keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. And I'll be in touch. Also, join the Discord. Get access to all these very